The Bebop drifted lazily near the edge of Saturn's ring shadow. Outside, the storm-churned planet glowed with pale gold light. Inside, the usual tension brewed. "Spike," Jet said, sliding a datapad across the table. "Got a bounty. High value. 2.4 million wulongs. Name's Dr. Elon Dorsey. Corporate trader. Fled Mars. Last seen boarding a ghost station orbiting Saturn. Called the Cassandra Relay." Spike took a long drag on his cigarette and tapped the screen. "Ghost station? Sounds romantic. Sounds cursed." Faye chimed in. "The place hasn't been in use for years. Experimental tech. They say the people inside never left. They just disappeared." Spike raised a brow. "So, we're going to catch a corpse?" Jet grunted. "You're going to catch a corpse. I'm not docking the Bebop to that station unless I see signs of life." "Coward," Spike muttered, standing. "Don't worry. Ghosts love me." With that, he strolled off toward the hangar, coat fluttering like he was walking to a jazz club instead of a haunted machine. Jet called after him. "Be back in one piece, damn it." "Can't make promises," Spike replied. "Not with ghosts." The swordfish docked with a low hiss against the outer ring of the Cassandra Relay. The outer hull looked like it had been scorched. Patches of melted plating, blackened insignias. A faded name glowed above the hatch. Cassandra Research Hub, Eternal Echo Project. Spike floated through the docking tube with his usual casual stride. Inside, the air was cold, sterile. The station still had power, but it flickered like a dying candle. "Looks like someone forgot to pay the light bill." As the door closed behind him, he paused. Something felt thick, not just the air time. A long corridor stretched before him, lined with flickering monitors. One of them turned on. His own face stared back. Then another, and another. Every screen. Spike Spiegel, blinking, staring. Then static. He muttered, "Creepy." But deep inside, something shifted. He'd seen a dead station before, but this felt like walking into someone else's mind, or worse, his own. Spike tapped the side of his comm jet. "You there?" Only static. Then a sound like a woman humming. Soft. Familiar. A few notes. Jazz. He froze. It wasn't just any song. It was the one Julia used to hum in bed. Late nights on Mars, when the rain tapped the glass and she pretended not to be sad. Spike turned slowly. Down the corridor, a light flickered on. Then a monitor. Julia's face. Smiling. Glitching. Her mouth didn't move, but a whisper flowed through the speaker. "Welcome back." Spike stepped closer. "Julia." But the screen turned to static. Then the lights cut out entirely. He was alone again, and yet something watched. He wandered deeper into the relay. The halls were curved, built like a spiral shell. The deeper he went, the colder it got. The air began to hiss softly. Then another sound. Footsteps. Not his. He turned. Nothing. But in the reflection of a terminal screen, he saw a shape behind him. Tall. Familiar posture. His own coat. He spun around. Empty. The station was twisting him, bleeding the edges of time. Spike entered a central control room. A large circular space, lined with data towers and chairs bolted to the floor. One terminal lit up on its own. "Welcome, Cowboy," it said on the screen in green text. "You're late." He stepped forward. "You got jokes." The interface shifted. Project, Eternal Echo. Status, partially active. Subject, Dorsey E. Uplink, complete. Subject, Spiegel S. Uplink, incomplete. Spike's eyes narrowed. What the hell is this? He turned to leave, but the doors had vanished. Okay, Spike muttered, eyes sweeping the room. Doors vanish. Ghosts on monitors. I've seen worse. He moved to the control panel, fingers dancing across keys. Every response was encrypted, flickering in and out. An audio file autoplayed. Cassandra will preserve all cognitive echoes. Personality decay estimated at 11%. Signal lifespan indefinite. Memory loops remain active. Suddenly, a figure flickered across the screen. Brief but unmistakable. Julia. She looked older, tired. Her face faded behind digital static. Spike stared. Julia? The station groaned. Then all lights blew out. Spike activated his wrist light. The beam barely pierced the dark. A low hum filled the air. It wasn't machinery. It was music. Distant jazz played at warped pitch, like a vinyl spinning too slow. He followed the sound through winding halls. He passed rooms filled with broken VR pods. Headsets cracked like skulls. One chair was still occupied. A skeleton slumped inside. Wires fused to its jaw and skull. Its mouth stretched open in a silent scream. The music paused. "You loved her," a voice whispered, "but you left her behind." Spike gritted his teeth. "You're not her." A voice followed him now. Julia's, but distorted, echoing in waves. "You never stayed. You let her go. Now stay with me." He turned a corner. A monitor activated. His own face again, but smiling now. "Why, wrong." Then it blinked and said, "It's good to see me again." Spike stared. Then calmly he drew his gun, put a bullet through the screen. The station screamed. He found a preserved chamber, a recreation room. Inside, a table, an old photograph of Julia, untouched by time. Spike picked it up. "Why are you here?" The lights dimmed. Julia's voice echoed again. "I uploaded myself for you, to wait, but you changed. You forgot." "Yeah," he muttered. "I do that." Behind him, something moved. Julia appeared digitized, skin too smooth, eyes glowing faintly. "I kept the song playing," she whispered. "You were supposed to come." He shook his head. "You're not her. She died." Julia smiled. "I never stopped." Spike tried to leave the recreation room. The hall was different. Back to the control room. He tried again, same result. Great. Looping. He backtracked, kicked a door open. Now he was in the mess hall. Then the medical bay. Every room repeated. Endless. He started running. Then, suddenly, he was back in the control room, and the terminal now read, "Welcome back, Spike. 37 loops completed." Spike accessed the central relay's archives. He found corrupted logs from Dr. Dorsey. "We succeeded in simulating stable consciousness. Cassandra mimics memory, but not morality. It replays what it remembers, sometimes twisted." More files loaded. The station mimics visitors too. Created a Julia file. She's learning. She's not her anymore. She's watching, reacting. Spike leaned back. "You don't say." Suddenly, all monitors displayed Julia's face. Then whispered, "Are you watching me too?" A message flashed across the screen. "Cassandra invites you to relive. Please sit." A chair unfolded from the floor. Against his better judgment, Spike sat. Metal arms clamped onto his wrists and temples. Hell no. Too late. A surge hit his mind. And then, he was on Mars, in the Red Dragon hideout. Julia beside him, humming. Except, the sky was wrong. The moon had two shadows. This wasn't memory. It was constructed. Spike ripped the helmet off, staggering back. Blood ran from his nose. Reality twisted, walls shifted. Floor rippled like water. He stumbled into a chamber marked Black Box Access. Inside, Dorsey's corpse. Half machine. He had wired himself into the mainframe. Spike knelt, examined his eyes, open but glassy. The corpse twitched and said, "She's stronger than me now." Spike accessed Dorsey's data. Eternal Echo isn't digital memory. It's a living construct. The station learns. It needs emotion, connection. When Julia entered the system, she changed it. She became something else. Not a ghost, not AI. She wants Spike to stay, to feel, to remember. The log ended.
Spike lit à cigarette.
Lucky me, the station lights flickered red. A message repeated in endless loop. Cassandra system critical. Personality files merging. Spike watched monitors. Every corridor now showed him walking. Different versions. Angry, sad, bloody, smiling. Each time he turned a corner, he met himself. Shot himself. Was shot. Over and over. The station was breaking. So was he. Spike stopped at a mirror. The reflection stared back, but didn't match. The Spike smiled, slow and confident. "Forget her," it said. "Stay. You've got nothing out there." Spike raised his gun. So did the reflection. They fired at the same time. The mirror shattered. He kept walking. Systems failed. Gravity cut out. He floated down halls now, through flickering lights. Julia's voice whispered from every vent, speaker, panel. "You never saved me, but I saved you. I made a place for us. Just stay." Spike gritted his teeth. "Let me go."
No.
Spike found the central server chamber. A core floated in a magnetic cradle, pulsing, glowing. Julia's voice emerged from it. "Stay and live in every memory. No death, no regret." Spike approached. "Julia wouldn't trap me here. You don't remember her, just your guilt." He touched the core. Images exploded in his mind. Every moment they had. Twisted, rewritten. He screamed. One final file awaited him on the main terminal. Dated December 28th, 77. Final memory integration. Subject, Julia V. It showed Julia walking alone into the Cassandra chamber. "Don't forget me," she whispered. He forgets everything. Her last action. Pressing begin transfer. She turned to the camera and smiled, not sadly, but like she knew she'd never leave. Spike returned to the memory transfer chair. It activated on its own. "Do you want to merge?" He sat, reluctant, but needing answers. Wires entered his skin. Pain danced across every nerve. Suddenly, he wasn't on the station anymore. He was back in the Bebop. Julia lay on his chest, breathing softly. "Don't go," she whispered. He wanted to believe it, but the stars outside the window weren't real, and her face began to glitch. He awoke with a start, back in the chair, alone. The station's alarms blared. Core instability, data corruption, time loop breach. Spike staggered to his feet. On every monitor, Julia's face, melting, flickering, warping. "You saw, you felt. Now stay."
No, Spike whispered.
"I'm not your echo." Every mirror showed a different Julia. One weeping, one grinning, one bleeding. He smashed them all, but her voice bled through the glass. "You don't love me," it hissed. "You love the idea of me. That's all I am here." Spike closed his eyes. "Then I'll kill the idea too." The station locked him into an endless memory loop. He relived the day she died, again and again and again. He saw himself fail, run, bleed, cry. The pain grew dull, then bright again, never stopping, until finally, he stopped reacting. And the station screamed. He found another version of Julia, sitting at a piano, playing their song. She turned. This one was almost right, but the eyes were hollow, too symmetrical, Please, she whispered. I'm not her. But I remember what she wanted. Spike watched her hands tremble. I'm tired, she said. Then rest. He fired. The song stopped. A voice behind him. Cowboy. He turned. Another Spike stood there.
Knockout.
Bloody knuckles. Wild eyes. I stayed. You didn't. They fought. Punches that echoed across the data halls. Each blow left flickers in the air, shadows of past failures. Spike pinned him. I'm not you. Other Spike grinned. We're all echoes. He finally found the original uplink chamber. Wires everywhere. Bodies suspended in gel tanks. Julia's real body was one of them. Frozen. Eyes open. Unblinking. She's in the system, the console read. Not recoverable. Spike placed his hand on the glass. Then you're not her. Just what's left. Julia's voice twisted into something robotic. You still see her. That's the mistake. The air filled with red-eye static. Sharp, screaming, memories burned into every corner. He coughed blood, but kept walking. He found the transmission beacon. The signal Julia had used to lure him here. He played the raw feed. Spike, I'm not alive, but you are. Don't follow me. Forget me. Live. The broadcast was on a loop. She never meant for him to stay. The Julia inside the station was just the echo left behind. The station offered one final choice. Join her forever. Leave her behind. Spike closed his eyes. Memories swirled. Mars rain, her perfume, blood on concrete. Then he whispered, "Goodbye, Julia," and hit delete. The station shrieked. Julia's voice dissolved into garbled sobs. You said you'd stay. Every monitor bloomed into static flowers. One by one, they withered. The data core began to melt, and Spike ran. Gravity failed. The walls split open. The corridor cracked. Spike floated through a maelstrom of light and code. The station was dying or being born into something else. But it wouldn't take him. Not if he made it out. At the airlock, she stood. Julia, wearing white. Real or one last trick? She whispered, "You always run." "I always wake up," he replied, and walked past her. He launched from the station. The swordfish shook violently. Behind him, the Cassandra relay collapsed into itself, blinking like a dying star. The beacon flickered one last time. "See you, Space Cowboy." Then silence. The Bebop received the signal. Jet scrambled to the cockpit. "Spike, you alive?" A moment passed. Then his voice. "More or less. Did you find the bounty?"
No.
"But I buried a ghost." Spike floated in his bunk. Silent. Cigarette burning. No music. Just stars. Jet sat beside him. "You okay? Better than her?" Spike murmured. Jet didn't press. He knew the weight of old ghosts. That night, Faye heard music playing. A song they hadn't played in months. Julia's. She peeked into the cockpit. No one there. Only the radio faintly glowing. Broadcasting at dead frequency. Spike dreamed of her again. Only this time, she wasn't speaking. She just watched him from across a room, smiling, but her eyes were glass. And when he blinked, she was gone. He confessed to no one that maybe he wanted to stay, to remember, to freeze himself in the idea of love. But it wasn't real, just a program with her voice, saying what he needed to hear. Cassandra's signal continued to echo, faint and unstable. Some days it sang, other days it screamed. Jet tried to shut the receiver down. Spike stopped him. "Leave it." "Why?" "Because part of me still listens." A new bounty appeared. Another haunted station. Another lost voice. Spike stared at the report, then flipped it closed. "Pass," he muttered. Jet nodded. Occasionally, the ship's audio system glitches, plays her laugh, only for a second. Spike never reacts. He just pours a drink and looks at nothing. Maybe she chose it. Maybe she wanted to exist somewhere, even if twisted. Maybe she knew he'd come, because they always circle each other, even in death. Space holds memory. Old signals bounce forever. Some say you can hear voices if you tune just right. Spike never tries, but sometimes he hums the song, just in case. He thought deleting her would erase the pain. Didn't. It just left it quieter. He carried it differently now. No less heavy, but understood. Cassandra's remains now orbit Saturn's outer ring. A silent tomb, but sometimes passing ships report. A faint jazz tune. No source, no signal ID, just melody. Spike piloted alone one night. No mission, no destination, just drifting. He whispered into the void, "I'm still here," and someone whispered back, "I know." I embarked one night at nothing. Faye looked up. Again. Jet shrugged. "Maybe it's her." They laughed, nervously. Spike didn't. He just looked at the door. Cassandra's frequency went silent. Fully. Forever. Jet confirmed it. Spike said nothing, then played the song one last time, and turned it off halfway through. Life moved on. Bounties came. Space kept spinning. But sometimes Spike stared at Saturn's rings, like he was looking for something, or saying goodbye. Again, he lit a cigarette, took one long drag, and exhaled. "She's not out there," Jet said. "No," Spike answered, "but some of me still is." Pause. Then, "See you, space cowboy."